He posted like a little mural on his Instagram. Just a picture of Dennis Rodman.
I'm 2 days away from dyeing my hair like him.
Could you take your hat off, please, Joe?
Walked right into that one, didn't I? I had a Subway salad for lunch. I did. It was good.
Didn't want to bring up the stabbing then, no?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm doing 2 weeks of no eating bread. It's going good.
What's that got to do with stabbing?
Except every time I go to Tesco's, all I want to eat croissants.
A cross what?
Yeah, if you go to a bakery...
A cross slice?
A croissant. Jesus.
Oh, I thought you said a cross slice.
Do they do those in Waitrose?
I was going to say, is that some sort of Romford thing?
He probably has them with salmon,
Must be next to the English muffins and salmon.
Yeah, he has them with salmon.
It's fine.
Absolutely gross.
Let's go.
These guys just ain't cultured.
Absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely not. You know where we're from.
I'm from the same place.
So then you know all about Morley's Chicken at East Ham then.
Morley's
Chicken
Morley's
at Station. Unbelievable.
Leave man red
he
like
doesn't stop there last
Morley's.
night, didn't you? Nah.
He didn't?
Nah. It doesn't even have fish.
No, we didn't have
man.
Morley's. We had Yankees. Morley's is South London.
What the fuck are Yankees?
Yankees chicken.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you got
Yankees
favourite
chicken
chicken
around here.
Yeah, we've got a favourite chicken in Cambridge.
Well, that's why I asked. I know it's cold.
We have a Galleria. We have Browns.
Mate.
Are any of the McDonald's open around here then?
I wouldn't know. No. Do you not remember from the last episode? I don't eat there.
Listen, we're not getting started in this.
No, I don't actually think.
We're not going to start a food podcast.
We're not starting off
where
here.
everyone gives you a barrage of abuse.
All right, look, let's
Just saying, there is a fish and chips down the road.
Moving
so.
swiftly on.
let's just jump into it. Hey guys, Chris from Hockey Tutorial here on the Beyond the Boards podcast. This is episode 7. Got it right the first time.
Is it 7?
Boom. It is 7.
It is 7. Jay's been tracking.
Wow.
And in this episode, which I'm going to add is sponsored, our first sponsored episode. That's going to be a regular occurrence on the podcast from here on. This particular episode is sponsored by Concussion Heroes, which we will go into much more detail about in the actual podcast. But subjects that we're going to touch on today is going to be helmets. We were actually going to do one on concussions themselves because you've had plenty of concussions.
Yep.
Yeah, we can definitely tell.
Yep.
And you haven't had any yet, touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood.
So we're gonna touch on that. We'll save that for the second episode, which will be number 8, and we'll go into a lot more detail on that one. But what I wanted to do in this episode is touch on helmets in hockey because we were having a bit of a discussion before the podcast started, before we started recording, and I was explaining how in ice hockey the price you pay for a helmet does not correlate to the level of protection that you're getting from said helmet.
I would like some scientific proof on that.
Okay, I will send you a link. Aside from sharing a video that I went into a lot of detail on the subject of, I will share a link with you to Virginia Tech, the institution of Virginia Tech, who carried out a test where they rated all of the mainstream helmets that you can get in hockey.
Yep.
And what they were looking for, or what they were testing, was rather impacts that were either of a lineal or rotation, which have been linked to concussions. So those are the type of head injuries or head hits and impacts that you can sustain in hockey, or that hockey players are most likely to sustain. And the various lists of helmets that they tested, I mean, like, I've got the list in front of me here. They've got the Bauer React 200, Warrior Chrome 360, the React 75, Covert PX Plus, the CCM Resistance. Like, they've tested everything. And the 2 helmets at the top, number 1 was the CCM FL 500, which costs $199. The one below that was the Bauer React 200, which costs $299. Number 3 was the Warrior Chrome 360, which costs $79. $79. And so they're saying a $79 helmet. Let me just tell you about some of the helmets that are below it. Well, if I go right to the bottom of the list, you'll find a lot of high-end helmets from CCM FL90 was at the bottom of the list with 0 stars. Warrior Alpha 1 Pro, 0 stars. Reebok 8K 0 stars. Eastern 400, the E400 0 stars.
They still make helmets.
Pardon?
I didn't know they made kit anymore. Didn't know they made it.
They tested every single helmet that you can essentially pick up in stores, whether they're current or not. But these helmets on the list below the Warrior $79 helmet that are $250.
Yeah.
So the Bauer React 100 is $269. CCM resistance, $229. True Dynamic 9 Pro helmet, 1 star, $259. These are all, I'm talking maybe 12 to 20 helmets below the one that I just said. So the price of a helmet has nothing to do with the level of protection or its ability to be able to save you.
No, I tell you what it is. It's
get
comfort. It's comfort.
He is exactly right.
Because if I got a £50 helmet and I put it on my head, I guarantee it's going to yank my hair back and dig into the side of my head. Whereas if I pay for a nice one, I'm going to be comfort.
I can imagine it's
and
probably
that's the same as
quality
everything.
well.
With skates, gloves, you want to be comfortable. If you're comfortable on the ice, you're going to perform better.
He's absolutely right. Like that's when you move up in helmet prices, that's all you're paying for. You're paying for these luxury materials inside the helmet.
Yeah.
To just make your experience of using the helmet more comfortable. That's it.
Okay.
Where's your argument? So you said that you wanted scientific. Go on.
I wouldn't say there's an...
Damn.
There is an argument because, you know...
You're gonna argue. You can't argue Virginia Tech, can you?
Well, no, of course
What
not.
one do we wear? We wear the TAC 710?
Yeah.
Is that one on there?
Yeah, I was gonna, where does that rate?
Because we might have
Just-
purchased
yeah,
some
just
helmets.
0 stars. $159. 0 stars.
I'm going back to the Bauer React.
0 stars.
Yeah.
Chris, that's the helmet you gave me. I'm a little bit worried now.
Whoa. You needed a helmet. Bro, you needed a helmet. I hooked you up. But
Didn't even look on there.
No, but like I said, this is as close as we get to being able to understand how a helmet performs with these particular types of injuries. Of course, if you're to look for an actual root cause of a concussion, there's still a lot of mystery that surrounds that. Of course, it comes from an impact, but the actual mechanics of exactly what causes them, and there's still very much that is unknown about concussions.
No, it's a very, very kind of widespread argument as to what causes it or what the main focus points are on what causes a concussion.
Yeah, and this particular list of helmets that they've rated is looking at the helmet's ability to reduce linear and rotational accelerations of the head. That's what they are specifically looking at. But why I thought it was interesting is especially parents with young kids, or even like you guys as people that play the game for a living, you guys aren't being given the information that you'd think would be important to know about a helmet. I mean, right now, if you're sitting there thinking, which helmet should I pick up if I want the safest helmet in hockey, according to Virginia Tech study, is the CCM FL500, which I believe is a model that is only available in North America, not Europe. So if you're looking for the most protective hockey helmet in terms of lineal and rotational accelerations, it's the FL500 from CCM.
Okay, can't argue with that, facts and figures, but...
You got so wound up before the podcast, and now it's just sort of shrunk.
You would
He did pipe down real quick, didn't he?
He did.
Go on. Tell me what upset you.
I think it's probably the same as anything. You know, if you go to a specific restaurant, you go to a specific food store, if you're paying more for something, you automatically assume that it should be of a better quality. Now, obviously, everybody knows that's probably 70-80% not true half the time. And when you look at more specific things, like you said, certain levels of equipment, certain aspects of equipment, it's clearly not the case as well. So,
I mean, it is better. It's just not necessarily more protective.
no, I think, like you said, comfort comes into it as a big thing in anything you do, no matter if you play sports, or
Massively.
wear clothes, wear shoes. You've got you wouldn't wear I don't know, most people might not, but if you're going to buy a very expensive pair of shoes and they don't fit well or they're not really comfortable, you don't want to wear them, then pretty much answer your own question, you're not going to be wearing them. But comfort's a big thing. I think from my side of things, having a number of concussions over the last few years, you start to worry and maybe take the health of your head and what's inside it a little bit more seriously. So, yeah, that's a bit of a shock with some of them, but okay.
I'm telling you, like when I made a video explaining this in detail, and when I was making the video, because I was like, it initially started out as me looking at cheap versus expensive helmets, and I was speaking with the manufacturers, speaking to the people that design them, and I was like, obviously I can't go into too much. I did speak to everyone, by the way. I spoke to Bauer, CCM, and Warrior, and I don't want to go into too much detail because in the world of protective, some of the things that I was told, I was very surprised at, in terms of like, oh, you mean that's just there for the sake of
Yeah.
But this was the one that caught me by surprise. Like you, I assumed when you see a helmet that costs 50 quid and then you see one that costs 3-4 times that price, I expected it to have like all of these different materials and foams and pads and crazy technology that was in the helmet was there to offer more protection. But the actual claim, if you look all of these helmets are advertised from all of the major manufacturers, they never ever claim the helmet is more protective.
Well, no, because I'm sure they can't. There's probably some
They
small
can't
print
do.
and
They can't do that because this
clearly
is
a very good marketing aspect.
Yeah, but they'll tell you about the comfort, what each of the materials does, but they'll never ever relay it as a message of this is going to protect you more on the ice. Of course, the general atmosphere and mood of what they create makes you believe that without them actually having to say it specifically. But the head is the most important part of a hockey player's body, without question of a doubt.
Yeah,
and it's
they would.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of players say the place that you don't want to cheap out with equipment is your helmet. Mm-hmm. But $79, you don't need to go expensive. No. It's the fact that this list isn't something that's referenced more in hockey or in stores is beyond me, and it's why I made a video, because when I stumbled upon the list I was like, wow, so Virginia Tech have gone out and they've tested all of the hockey helmets for us, and they're literally telling us which ones are the ones which ones are the best at reducing these particular types of impacts, or the characteristics of impacts of this nature are reduced if you have this helmet on.
Does it say anything on there about, I'm not going to say kind of like lasting, how long, you're supposed to wear a helmet for, how long it can last? Because obviously I can well imagine that the cheaper ones, maybe after half a season, depending on kind of how frequently you might be falling over or hitting your head, probably aren't going to last as long as the ones that are, costing a little bit more, made with better materials, ideally. So
that's a pretty good question. I don't think that...
Well, I know they say that on average, you should probably kind of, depending on what level you play at, you should change your helmet every season or every 2 seasons, depending on the wear and tear on it.
If you're playing competitive hockey and you're playing contact, checking hockey, 100% you should be getting a new helmet every season.
Yeah.
It's your head. Mm-hmm. If you hit that hard and damage it, it's not going to heal like a leg or an ankle or a wrist bone or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think for sure you should be replacing it every season if you're playing competitively. If you're playing recreationally, I think that's just you using your common sense as a grown-up to look at the product and think, this is beaten up now. It's like, if you ride motorbikes, you drop your helmet on the ground from a high distance, you have to replace that.
Yeah.
Like that's now done. Mm-hmm. And it should be similar. Of course, you're not moving at 100 miles plus an hour on the ice, but if your helmet has been beaten up a lot, you've been throwing it around a locker room for a year, maybe consider getting another one. If you're happy to throw 250 quid on a stick every couple of months, why wouldn't you throw 100 quid at a new helmet?
No, of course.
But then when you're playing like teams where me and Jay play and you get given helmets, like it's not like we can just go, we're going to go out and buy a helmet. We have to sort of do it through the team.
But if you bought one that was the same colour, would that be an issue?
There's some teams where we have to be matching. You all have to have the same sort of...
Then this is the type of information that needs to be shown to whoever makes the decisions about what to buy.
No, of course.
Because it's not dependent on cost. Like there is helmets, if we go further down the list, that are in the top 10. So there's a Bauer 2100 helmet.
Is that
that's $34.
Is that just the basic one?
Yeah. And it's an old one.
What you're looking at, but
I bet the comfort would be terrible.
Yeah,
it's
but
the one that's got like the old school foam in it.
But do you know what I mean? Like comfort is so high, because no hockey player is going to want to come off after every shift and have to take their helmet
It's not that old in terms of like...
Yeah, but I can guarantee you, if you put that one on compared to the more expensive one, you're gonna be like, this one's way comfy. I'll take that one.
This helmet, I think this is probably from like 2011, or if I had to guess. I've got a picture now. Yeah, I'll throw one up on screen for everyone that can't see it. But it just looks like a normal Bauer helmet. It doesn't look old or anything like that. Like I'll try and spin this around. I don't want to disconnect the audio.
I'll spin around that way.
Yeah, see, I've put one of those on. They are so uncomfortable.
Yeah, so...
No, they're so uncomfortable.
No, see, that's the IMS. No, I thought you were talking about like the original old school, like that one. They're
terrible.
That's the
they
same.
They are terrible.
It's the same. It's the same nature.
They are terrible.
Yeah.
You don't like these ones?
No, they're the sort of ones you'd put on and it just like suck your whole head like back and in.
The foam's kind of very...
Tough.
The only way to
terrible.
The only way to describe it is like insulation foam.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first...
It's one of them you'd have to take off after every shift.
But my point is, that helmet costs $34 and is better. So let me just see where this is on the list. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's number 10. $34 is number 10. And if I scroll down to number 20 to 25 range, these helmets there that are 139, 250, 229, 269. If you have the Bauer React, or React, however you want to pronounce it, 100, and you paid $269 for it, that's insulting. Or even the CCM Flylight with, Fitlight with...
Did you just try and mash CCM and Bauer together?
I think I did accidentally. Or if you have the CCM Fitlight helmet with the Fitlight, was it 3DS, I think it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's plus $250, and that is not rated very well if you're looking at these types of impacts.
Yeah.
So it's unreal what these guys are doing, and the fact that they have the true helmet here already lets you know that this list is being updated, because the true helmet is brand new. That's like it's a very, very new product, and they've already got it listed here. The list is constantly being updated. If you want to know where you should be spending your money on a helmet, like, reference this bloody list, the Virginia Tech list. They've done all the work for us. It stuns me that more people don't know about this, especially like you guys. You guys had no idea about this.
No?
I think hockey players would definitely pay more for comfort, even if they know it's not that protective.
No, I don't mind people paying more for comfort. That's not what I'm saying, but because there's helmets up here that are high-spec helmets that are higher up the list. It's just knowing which one to buy. Because how can manufacturers still actively produce helmets that have been rated so low? Like, some of these helmets have no stars, and it's like 1 star to 5.
Basically, just should go old school and not wear a helmet.
That's pretty much what's been said here.
Yeah. But I did say that we were going to touch on this on the other episode, but it kind of makes sense to just go into it now. On the subject of concussions.
Yes.
Thoughts? Feedback?
You're never going to get rid of them, no matter whether you play a contact sport or a non-contact sport. I know people that play football that have, gone up to head a ball, headed someone else, or, taken a tumble the wrong way, and you end up with a concussion. So there are obviously certain protective elements, i.e. helmets if you're a cyclist, helmets if you play American football, hockey like us, that, kind of reduce the risk, but, you're never going to get rid of them.
This week's episode of the Beyond the Boards podcast is sponsored by Concussion Heroes. Concussion Heroes are a company who've created an online program to essentially help reduce the risk of concussion. The way in which that they do this is essentially to educate players about avoiding concussions in the first place. Concussion Heroes offer an exclusive ready-to-play protocol which puts emphasis on avoidance and improving the body's ability to receive an impact. The online program has a protocol that includes 3 different weeks of instructions, as well as a maintenance plan to be followed for the rest of the season. This protocol includes a video overview each week, easy to read and understand downloadable PDFs, and a video demonstration of each exercise. For more information, visit concussionheroes.com. That's concussionheroes.com. Back to the podcast. How many concussions have you had?
It's a list, probably.
You spoke to him? Quite a few.
Yeah.
Wow.
Five or six that have. I had a bad one probably 3-4 years ago now, where I was at work. I was medically signed off just because it was just agonising. Probably for anyone that has had one bad one. The stage you just you can't wake up. You're very light sensitive. You're sitting in the dark all day. You're very lethargic, and it's just. Yeah, it can. The effects of a concussion can last a lifetime. There's no, a doctor can't tell you how long something's going to last. It's literally, your brain and your head's the strongest part of your body, but at the same time, it's strong. It's the strongest part of your body because it protects something very, very important. And everybody's mind works differently. Everybody's head can take a certain amount of time, and just because someone that might have had a harder hit than you and have recovered quicker from what you have by having just a minor knock, everybody's different. So they can last years.
Was you wearing a visor or a cage when you...
First proper one I had, I was wearing a visor. No, I was wearing a cage. I was at Oxford and I went to hit someone and he kind of dropped, and I literally just remember hitting the left side of my head. This whole left eye just...
Because I think that's going to have to be taken into consideration as well. I think because cages, obviously, it gives you more protection in some effect to a visor.
You think?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. You got to think, if you wear a mouth guard,
yeah.
If you take an impact to the jaw, you can get a concussion. You can knock yourself out just by the force of your teeth knocking together.
That leads us on to something quite nice as well. Like the whole thing about mouth guards. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think mouth guards are there to protect your...
No, they are.
No, it's concussion.
They're to protect your head. There you go. Look. They are there to protect your head.
There's the concussions kicking in.
It's like you just said with the being educated on certain aspects of things. Yes, everybody would think that you buy a mouth guard because it covers your teeth to stop
If you get a shot in the face, you're still losing teeth even if you have a mouth guard.
The mouth guard's not going to do much.
And a stick. Fact. If you have a mouth guard on, you get a stick or a puck in the face, chances are you will lose a tooth.
your chances are you'll lose multiple teeth as well, because if the mouth guard, you have the solid ones.
Do you remember seeing that?
They chip.
It rips more teeth
they
out.
Spread the impact across.
Do you remember seeing that player that pulled his mouth guard out in the NHL and just like 4 or 5 teeth just fell out onto the ice? I think it was a Pittsburgh player.
Jeez.
It was like you could literally see him picking up his teeth off the ice. It was gross.
But on that subject, but this is again what we're saying. It's so important for people to understand why they have various bits of equipment and knowing which ones that you have to buy, because a lot of people think, as you said earlier on, the more money you throw at something, the better you'll get. And 9 times out of 10,
that should be the case.
Like we found out, when we talked about food, when we know that's the case, it's with hockey equipment, it's different. It's not always the most expensive is the best thing that you need to pick up. And I will mention, this is a complete side note, I do want to make a video about kitting an adult out in equipment, top to bottom, for the most, cost-effective amount that you could do, because when you go in there and you buy all the bells and whistles, it's going to come in at a high price point. But what's the most you could actually kit out a grown-up with without having to spend, ridiculous sums of money, and them still have everything that they need, protection-wise and also support-wise, being able to support the level of play that they need.
£100 maybe.
I don't know if you'd be able to do it that low. I think if you went second hand for sure, but
I think you still have to get good skates and a good stick to be able to do damage in a game. Like we touched on it before. A stick and my skates are the 2 most important parts.
Not necessarily in that order.
That's where I'd put it. Skates and sticks level.
As we found out,
they're sitting at the top.
Yeah, definitely together.
But on that subject, so the funny thing is, I did have a concussion myself, but mine wasn't because of hockey. It's because I wrecked my car off a couple of months ago, and smacked my head against the side of the windscreen and broke it.
Everyday life.
But I didn't have any symptoms aside from being sick.
I thought he was going to say
and then
helmet.
just having ringing ears.
Yeah.
That's all I had. I didn't have any issues with light sensitivity or anything like that. But so are those the most debilitating kind of side effects of what you've received?
Things being a lot slower, stuff like that. It's
outside.
1 second, because we'll hear that. Just finish.
Oh, okay, I'll come outside.
I honestly thought he was going to say I didn't have a helmet on while driving.
Sorry,
then
it's the smoothies.
That's fine. We'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll just wait for Ricky. Hold on.
I seriously thought he was going to go. I didn't have a helmet on while I was driving.
I'd have been very impressed if you were wearing a helmet while you were driving.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I thought he was going to say.
No, it was bad, dude. I think I was doing something between.
We've both heard the story. We know.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh mate, my arm is killing me.
Yeah, I can see you sitting there scratching.
Mate, it is killing me.
What have you done?
I've got him excited, didn't he?
What? Matches the angel on the offside.
What were we talking about when we stopped?
Symptoms of concussion.
Yeah, the symptoms.
Chris is going to be sipping on his smoothie through the podcast.
I will be, man. I'm literally going to switch out the coffee for a smoothie.
Are you sure you can have that on there in case they say?
They're going to see the camera. They're going to see the camera.
Boost juice.
It's green.
But anybody who knows their cups would know what that is.
Alright. This podcast is sponsored by Boost Juice.
Don't say that. Because now I want one from them.
Cheers, bro.
I think this is a good little thing to go off onto the mouth guards as well.
Huh?
You're saying about helmets.
Yeah. I like the finer
Talking
things in
about-
life.
Metal
I
straw.
don't have no plastic one.
And you guys think I'm bougie?
Talking about different helmets.
Yeah? Talk about different mouth guards.
Mouth guards you can buy.
Mate, I've just bought one for 46 quid.
Better.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the most I paid for mouse was like £15.
Alright, wait. So don't kill it.
You've paid for. I've just paid.
You know, that's the first. My
46?
first ever mouth guard I got was an Under Armour one. It cost me £45.
Yeah, it tastes like absolute crap.
Does it?
That's horrible.
Oh, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
No, it's got everything I need in it. That's why. Oh, it's rough.
You won't want it, Jane, got no semen in it.
Oh my god.
No, I'm on a no semen diet at the moment. I'm taking a week off. I'm trying to watch my figure. Can I make calories from that? Fucking 2 pumps is like 2 pumps of syrup.
This is what the change room's like 24/7.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, sometimes worse than this.
It was just
Yeah.
good enough to play on your
Sometimes
team.
we just go into like family members and girlfriends.
Yep.
And it's unbelievable. The videos that are in our group chat are phenomenal. I think kind of immediately the first one I actually properly remember was at Milton Keynes. I caught a hole in the ice chasing down a park on a penny kill.
Toe picked.
Oh no, I did. If I can show you the picture, there is a picture. On
Was it his figure skates? Did your figure skates get caught in your eyes?
This is. I was playing at Bracknell at the time. We were playing in Milton Keynes.
This is why you should learn to skate.
We're on the penalty kill. I've chipped the puck in, gone to get it. The goalie's gone one way, and I've gone the other. And he's changed direction, so I've had to change direction.
Wait, you was
hold it in the
kill?
ice, and I hit the boards so hard that I swung round, the back of my head hit, and it was just black. It was just, it was like kind of the immediate shock of it is literally, going 25, 30 miles an hour and literally just hitting a brick wall, because that's exactly how it was. The moment with everything just kind of take you just like, whoa. Kind of got up, sat back down, and I was just felt sick, couldn't see properly, things were kind of shaking. No, not that much anymore. No, like admit there are, like even now, there are days where, you wake up and you just, like everybody has them. Sometimes I'll get up and I'm just like, I just cannot be bothered today. I just do not feel like doing anything. Things just go by really, really slowly, and it's quite bad. Like probably, I know a lot of people that have had, I think it's like post-concussion syndrome. It's like you get lasting effects that happen more regularly, and then you have to go back and have like they call it a head MOT. Basically, you either have a CT scan or you go through certain physical, kind of exercises or tests as they call them, just to kind of see where you're at and what's going on. I haven't had one of them for a while. Hasn't been too bad, but there are days you wake up and it's just like things. You get up, your balance is a little bit off. That's probably a big thing to notice. You get out of bed first thing in the morning. If you get up too fast, you get a bit of a head rush.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get up and you're just like, you're falling back. Your balance is just all over the place. So
that's unreal. I remember reading a story. I think it was in the Players Tribunal about Bryce Salvador. Mm-hmm. It might have been that, or it might have been something else that he'd written public and published separately. I'm sure if anyone's seen it, somebody will flag me in the comments and tell me what it was. Mm-hmm. But it was about him getting a concussion, a really bad one, and having like crazy symptoms. And he had to, like, it was him sharing the story of his journey back to being like ready to play again. Yeah. And he had to go to like what was essentially like a playground with apparatus that you'd think would be for kids, but for grown-ups, mm-hmm. to kind of build your balance. I don't know I'm pretty sure it's concussions and not vertigo. I'm pretty sure it's concussions. And he had to basically do like, the different exercises that kids do in parks where they're like spinning on like little roundabouts. What are they called? Like, and holding onto those and throwing your head back, and using basically kids' play apparatus to build his balance and his equilibrium back up to speed so he'd be able to feel normal again. I cannot remember what it was, but I remember reading it a few years ago and it was unreal.
There's a ton of stories out there from, guys that play in the NHL, AHL, or guys that might not play so seriously anymore. I think, if anything, the worst part of having a concussion, no matter if you've had 1 or 5, is probably the kind of lasting mental effects. If you've got family and friends, which I'm sure everybody has, loved ones and stuff like that. I think if anything, they probably take the toll on it the most, because they're with you. They're trying to make sure that you're all right, and 9 times out of 10, you just kind of want to be left alone to either recover or not do anything if you wake up and feel like that. So certainly the mental aspects of things are pretty bad, depression, anxiety, etc. Because you just feel like you're in a hole that you can't really get out of.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
You don't know how long it's going to last. So
I think that's the worst part, is the uncertainty. With other pieces of protective equipment, because I guess the most logical thing for us to kind of break into now is, what steps can people take to avoid that? We've already touched on helmets a bit, and we've touched very briefly on mouth guards, but how much more in depth could you go with mouth guards? Like, it's the same sort of thing. And to be honest, I think I need to maybe look at doing a video on cheap versus expensive mouth guards. What's your feedback on mouth guards?
It's probably the same as anything. You can buy cheap ones, you can buy expensive ones. I wouldn't say that the expensive ones are any more protective than, maybe the cheap ones. What
would be the ones that you kind of prefer over others?
I mean, my first proper mouth guard that I remember buying when I got a visor was one of the Under Armour ones, just because, Under Armour's a very good brand in sports, whether that's clothing or, equipment for certain sports. And, it was something that, it's £45, but like you said, your teeth, they need to be protective, and obviously, your head and whatnot needs to be protected. So paying £45 for a mouth guard that's going to maybe last you a season or what, unless you lose it or it gets broken or chewed up, then...
I've seen you go for at least 3 mouth guards a season.
Yeah, that's because I just buy 10, 15 pound ones just because
And you chew on them like you're eating food.
they're nice colours, or they've got they're bright yellow and stuff like that. So
Nice colours.
That's normally
What's that
what I
got
go
to do
for.
with chewing on them,
Told you,
Jay?
make them feel good.
Bright yellow.
Yeah.
Could you take your hat off, please, Jay?
Walked right into that one, didn't I?
You walked right into that one.
Never got that out of the way.
Glaire's gone now.
Not a finished product yet, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, Jay, aka
Can you
Dennis
please
Rodman.
just do the sides blue?
I'm doing size blue.
That would
It will look
Sides
sick.
are fine colour. That's the colour I want it all over.
It will look sick if you do the sides blue.
I agree. If you did have the sides a different colour, that'd look pretty sick.
I have a day job.
Do them
to go
pink.
to,
Do them
you know.
pink, man. Match the t-shirt. All right. The
Oh,
other thing,
fine.
the other thing I wanted to touch on, which I know kind of like popped up quite a bit, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, is the Neuro shield from Bauer.
Oh,
That collar.
yes. I wanted one.
Just going to do a very quick flashback to an old video that we filmed at Bauer's HQ about the Neuro Shield, where you can listen to what the Director of Development Services has to say about how it works. Would you be able to summarize what the Neuro Shield is, like what it is and what its purpose is?
Yeah, Neuro Shield is a collar that you wear around your neck, and the purpose of it is to preserve the structure of the brain. So there's a lot of impacts in contact sports, and so this is a device to help mitigate the impacts that you're going to receive.
Would you be able to just run me through very briefly how the device works?
Sure. So the Neuro Shield is a collar that's worn around the neck. It applies light pressure to the IJV, which in turn increases the blood volume in the brain, and that reduces movement of the brain and preserves the structure of the brain during impact.
And now back to the podcast.
Just seems like a tight neck guard.
No, so it didn't go all the way around. It literally only went around the back, and then you had two bits here that would pulse into, or would push kind of into.
Yeah, I mean, it was very light. People thought it was going to be something that was tight. It literally applied very, it wasn't uncomfortable to wear. Like, I did a video with Bauer and I actually put it on to see what it was like.
What happened to that? It never really kind of blew up, did it?
From my knowledge, first of all, let me just explain it. Like, what it does is that it essentially increases blood volume. And the idea by doing that is to reduce the amount of space that the brain has to move around inside your head. Like that's what they were.
Is that true science behind it, though?
That's the science behind it. I mean, if your brain if there's more volume and your brain can't move around as much, then there's less chance it's going to be able to smack against your skull and give you I guess that's what they. Okay. This is the thing. They never at any point said that this was meant to reduce the risk of concussion. What they said that it does is it increases blood volume to help reduce the movement of the brain in the skull. And essentially what that would do is help reduce the risk of concussion. But they were very careful with the wording about how they said that, because you can't bring out a device that in this case is technically a medical device and then claim that it stops concussions, because then you get yourself into a whole legal entanglement. From what I know about the product, it was purchased, I think not purchased, it's now under a different name. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening with it. When I spoke with them, they said that it was going to be coming over to Europe. It was about to be approved. I'll link the video in the video description. And if you're watching this, or rather if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, all you have to do is to literally just search for Bauer Neuro Shield or Q Collar, and the video will come up and you can see the video that I made. But that's what, the last time I looked at it, that's what it was called now, Q Collar. I don't know where it's gone back to.
So if we get one, Jay, you put one on and I just slash you around the head.
So much better.
Neuro Shield sounds sick. Yeah. Like it did seem like a pretty cool concept, and I don't know what the success of it has been like, but I feel like we would have heard about it way more.
Like the OD,
yeah, like we've not really seen them. No. I've never seen a player using the NHL. No. Sitting down with them, they kind of went into a bit more info if you watch the video. Mm-hmm. But again, it's one of those things that we don't see anything of it in hockey, maybe because it wasn't successful, maybe because it didn't take off. I don't know. But there's loads of there's always, I guess you could say, people out there that will create tech or solutions to being able to combat this, because the concussion thing is obviously a major issue in sports across the globe. Doesn't matter what type of sport you're playing. It's something that if there is a way to reduce it, I understand why companies would try and do stuff like this, because they're not saying that this is a fix, but if it helps, then cool. But I don't know what associated risks would come with wearing something like this, if there's any types of people or players that shouldn't wear something like this. I don't know. But it was an interesting one. I just wanted to see if you guys had thought, come by it or heard of it, or.
No, I heard of it when it first came out, and obviously, with my past history and stuff, it was certainly something I'd have definitely looked into if it, kind of hit markets and was available. Yeah.
As a quick reminder, this podcast episode is sponsored by Concussion Heroes. For more information, visit concussionheroes.com. That's concussionheroes.com to find out a lot more about their program.
And the other guys, so like the sponsor of this video being Concussion Heroes, I wanted to touch on a little bit about what these guys do. So essentially, what they've created is a program that if players follow the steps of the program, they're aiming it at between 8 and 20, like year olds. But it's something that can be applied to anyone, doesn't matter what age you are. The overall idea behind it is to build the muscles that are necessary to make you, as stable and as athletic as you can be for your particular sport and to the best of your ability. Increasing your general safety, showing you steps and things that you can do to be as healthy as you can be, and improving your vision, like your general visual ability. But it goes into a little bit more detail from there, like increasing your safety. They're talking about like showing you things that you can do to be able to play your sport safer. Like whether that's down to the equipment, it's down to the exercises that you do, it's down to improving your general balance and coordination. And then they do strength and conditioning and balance. Again, these are all things that are linked to making you a better athlete. And I guess the way that they're trying to explain what they do is if they can improve your athleticism, improve your balance, improve your posture, etc., that will allow you to be quicker, to be faster, to help you to avoid scenarios where you could get a concussion. But there was one thing that they discussed on their site that I was actually quite impressed by, and it was with kids spending a lot of time on devices. They were essentially going into detail and showing studies where if kids are, number one, like a kid on a device, they're looking down, which is really, really bad for your neck. Yeah. Aside from that, they were showing how that reduces your peripheral vision. If you're always honed in on these tiny little screens looking down, it reduces your ability to be able to see from the sides of your eyes. And as all of us can agree, regardless of what level of hockey you play, peripheral vision is a skill that any player needs. Like that's what helps you from getting absolutely obliterated on the ice.
But I think it doesn't matter how fast you are, how quick you are. If you like, someone's going to catch you eventually.
Of course, but this is the thing. If you're faster, better coordinated, better balanced, more flexible, more mobile, the amount of times that this is going to happen is going to be far, far less than if you weren't.
Yeah, but if you're going a lot quicker and someone catches you, it's going to hurt a lot more if you're going slow.
Speed could be
like if I'm going at like
bit more
top speed compared if I'm gliding, it's going to hurt a lot more if I'm top speed.
Of course. But I think when you look at what they do from the surface in terms of a program that reduces the risk of concussion, straight away you're like, that doesn't sound like it's going to make sense. But when you go into the mechanics of how they're doing it, like I can't remember what strength and conditioning coach we did a video with, but this was something that they touched on themselves in terms of not specifically looking at concussions, but reducing injury in sports players. And in this case, it was for hockey players. Yep. And flexibility and mobility is something that a lot of hockey players don't really develop. And it's what the guys at Starzone Sports in Sweden do, or Starzone Hockey, in Sweden do. Like some of the drills that they were showing me and Ricky were in, like my body would not move in that position. Yeah. And they're explaining like, how can you expect to be able to score from any angle, any situation if your body will not allow you to move like that? But this is what I'm saying is if you are more athletic and your body's finer tuned to what you do and you maintain that, of course you're going to be able to, fend off a lot of injuries that most people would get hammered down by. Yes. But of course, you're never going to be able to erase the element of getting hit. It's going to happen. Yeah. But it's like what you said before, like how someone's body can be, we could have the exact same hit and it could cause me way more damage than it causes you because you're more tuned to playing hockey. Like the stuff that you develop, the stuff that you work on is specific to the game. And I might be slightly weaker in an area that you're very strong at. Like I could get like a neck injury and it wipes me out, but your neck, because of the training that you do, is much, much stronger. That's what this is trying to essentially trying to explain.
To get everybody on kind of an equal playing field so that if the same thing or something different was to happen, your body's a little bit better.
It's just getting your body more conditioned to what you're doing. Because if you don't know how to do that, like how many hockey players really that you guys know work on mobility and flexibility properly? Like they actually have a program from professionals that show them what to do.
Eric.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the guy we're working out with at the moment,
next level.
We're doing a lot of stuff that
you've not done before.
Well, yeah, not because obviously the thought isn't there, but like you said, if you just go to the gym and use what you've got available to you, then like you said, the mechanics of when you break the game down and you look at the more refined aspects of things, that's what Eric does a lot, and that's what we're kind of going into doing a little bit more. Stuff that, we've never done before or have seen done, but, never really had, a chance to do. And it's only going to be better in the long run, so...
No, for sure. So is a lot of the stuff that you're doing off ice?
Definitely sucks right now, though.
Oh, it's pretty tough at the moment.
Yeah?
Man. It's a killer.
I think for all of us, you know, with everything going on, like I said, countless before, our off season's been a little bit longer. So for most people, have had a
big break.
Big break.
Holiday mode.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, besides kind of, like I said, trying to keep yourself as fit as you can or do as much as you can with what you've got. You know, for people like us, where, you know, what we're probably, you know, 60, 70 days away from maybe going back onto the ice and getting into, you know, middle to late stages of our summer programs. We've kind of got to do the early bits and the bits that suck now. So the long runs and the heat, and, you know, just to kind of, it's like a ladder. You start at one step, you can only go to step 2 once you've done step 1, and so on. So
that's a very good analogy. Jeez.
It sucks for now, trust me. So legs are going to be a bit stiff for a couple of weeks, but give it 2 weeks' time. I think we should be all right.
Yeah, but I know you guys are itching to get back on the ice.
Definitely.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the longest we've both been off the ice
100%.
for a long, long time.
Without a doubt.
Even last year, once our season finished, I think we were probably on the ice like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
It's been coming up for 9-10 weeks.
Romford have always done like a summer, just going on the ice and messing
Yeah,
around.
that's it. It's always
This is without a doubt the longest I've been off the ice since I've started.
Yeah, ever.
Jeez. Yeah. No, but it's I can see that. This is the longest we've been in the UK ever. Like I cannot remember spending 10 weeks in the UK back to back. It's unreal. Like I'm desperate to be able to go. And some of the projects that we had, dude, like we were looking at doing some like ice hockey in Australia, the documentary on ice hockey down under. I want to get on ice hockey in Jamaica. We wanted to do some stuff in Hawaii. I'm just bummed that we can't do that.
Hawaii?
There is.
Let's go.
Well, at least I'm 18 now. Like, by the time you can go, I'm 18, so I can come.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? So this is a little bit of a plus for me.
Do we want to bring him?
Wait, it's that one you want to be questioning.
I don't.
He'll cause more trouble than I will.
I don't trust both of you.
Gentlemen now.
Yeah, we are. with blonde and yellow hair.
Yep.
Vanilla ice looking.
Yep.
All right, I don't know where to go from here. I think we're good. What are we on time wise?
14 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
It was good.
Yeah. I wasn't going to go into concussions. It just made sense to, because we talked about helmets and then we're talking about mouth protection.
You could link it to most things. It's like there's a lady I used to work with. She fell over in her kitchen, just standing at the sink, slipped on something. She was off work for like 2 months.
Why are you close to giggling at that?
No, because it's just how I think the comedy side of things is how easy you could do it. Obviously, it's an ideal situation. It's not funny at all because, you know, it's your brain and everything. But when you hear stories of like, oh, you know,
like the most minimal impact that someone's like
exactly
really
and that's literally it.
But that's like with anything though, isn't it?
But this isn't me coming back to this program because it's our sponsor. I genuinely, like, hockey aside, sponsor aside, like I genuinely believe in doing things that allow our bodies to be conditioned, because this is something completely off topic, but I tell like my family members off for, because I've got like family members, aunts, uncles that will fall over and like completely ruin their bodies because of it. And it's because all they do is go to work, sit at a desk, go home, sit on the couch. And I'm like, if you get into that habit, like your body is withering away. And any type of physical activity that you do that results in, you know, you falling over or whatever, you're going to hurt yourself way, way more. Like if you need to do things that keep you moving, that keep you mobile, that keep you active, like thank God, like I ride boards. Riding an electric board doesn't sound physical, but it's like the same as saying going downhill on a snowboard isn't physical. Yeah. Like your entire body is working, your entire core is working. Same thing on these boards when you're carving. And it's like surfing on the ground.
Shredded fingers. Pulling that trigger all the time.
Oh yeah. No, we call it, yeah. Anyways, but this is the thing, it's like doing...
You walked into that one.
Absolute. I can't even swear. But this is what I'm saying. It's like you have to do things to get yourselves up and moving, working on your mobility, working on your flexibility, strength and conditioning, even if you're not trying to get dench, just because you're trying to keep yourself in shape. Like that doesn't mean like having muscles or whatever. It just means having a body that works.
Keeping your body in good shape.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best thing to come out of this whole lockdown situation. I've seen hundreds more people out and about, whether that be walking, running, cycling or whatever.
One thing that's not come out of it that's good is how many people are selling fitness plans on Instagram.
Well,
how much
God am I sick of seeing
fitness equipment,
mate. Is. How many people
I looked into it.
Fully trained PTs and nutritionists.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mate, I looked into it.
They've got a nice meal on their Instagram, like, oh, do you know how much salt's in it? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no,
work in an office.
But it's not going to last. It's like when people have the whole Christmas period and everyone eats cake and drinks every day for 2 weeks, and then January kicks in, and then gym memberships go through the roof, and then February, March, April, oh, now we're back to normal again.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's what people can focus on now, and then it'll go back. But I think the idea is like, it's like even looking at things like from a diet perspective. Like a diet has a start and an end. Mm-hmm. It's not a diet that you need if you're trying to get into shape. It's a lifestyle change. You want to adapt your lifestyle so you are healthier, fitter, more active. And this is the thing that's, I guess, getting missed on a lot of people. If you're denied ice, you can't get on the ice, get outside, pick up a stick. Like, play ball hockey. The amount of ball hockey games I see on Instagram, like, I know that doesn't really happen in the UK, and I genuinely wish it did. Like, just get out and do something, and it's what people don't want to do.
We could start a ball hockey league, I'm sure.
Cool. Should we start a ball hockey league?
We should, 100%.
Who would do that? But I'd want to play with a puck. Like,
but then that's not a ball hockey league.
Sorry, one second.
That's not a ball hockey league.
Yeah, we should start ball hockey in the UK, but we'll call it ball puck.
No, I'm just saying.
That's not ball hockey.
Here we go. If I had the option to play.
I think that might be Chris's worst one.
Yeah.
Oh, I should just stop talking.
We should start ball hockey, but use a puck.
No, I didn't say use a puck. I said I'd prefer to use a puck.
But then that wouldn't be ball hockey.
Okay, I give up.
It'd be like roller with a puck.
Am I just digging myself a grave? Should I just put my hands up and say like?
Yeah,
hockey.
That was quite. That was bad. That was on like Jay's level there. That was bad.
Fine, I'm sorry, but yeah, if you want to, if anyone knows of a puck ball hockey league in the UK, like link it down below. Oh, sledge hockey.
Yes, love that. I'd love to.
Have you've not done it?
Never given it a go. No, we don't. There's not many. I say facilities. Obviously, I know that sounds silly when you look at it. So you go to ice rinks all the time, but to have an organised team or something like that, I don't know of any. Certainly in Romford, I know there's one up in Haringey and Lee Valley, but no, never kind of had a chance to.
I've been invited a couple of times to one. I think in Nottingham, I'm going to say maybe Sheffield.
Yeah.
And I've never had a chance to be able to go up there. But if anyone is watching this and is based in the UK and knows somewhere that we could do it,
yeah, definitely
hit us up because I really do want to try that. I'm well up for trying that. It looks crazy physical. Like,
crazy physical.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know what sledge hockey is, what is it?
Sled hockey. Sled hockey.
Yeah, it's a hockey when like on a sled.
Yeah,
it's pretty much that.
So like it's a lot of. It's exactly what it sounds. I think everyone that plays hockey is going to know what it is. Like, I mean, it's in the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
it's in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, people will know.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Just me then.
Just you. Just Rick.
So uneducated.
He's so uneducated. With his metal straw.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
We probably paid about £7 for it though.
Yeah, but you can use it again.
What you get in life, mate.
Oh, we're back to this, are we? All right, we'll wrap this up. As always, guys, a big thank you for watching or listening to the podcast, depending on where you're consuming this from. I don't even know what I was going to say now. That mind is gone. Yeah, it's gone.
You need to do some.
Just drifted.
Some workouts.
No, I just need to go to sleep.
Just drifted away.
Yeah, I literally just need to. Yeah, I just went. I wait for Gary to stop rustling. Are you done? You done rustling back there?
Come on, my nose. What was that? Gary? Starting on you like that.
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you done now? Are you done?
All right. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the podcast.
Get sidetracked so easy.
We get sidetracked so easily. Big thank you for watching this episode, guys. As always, depending on where you're consuming this content, if you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe. Leave any comments down below of what episodes you want us to touch on next, like what features or topics you want us to discuss in the next episode. And if you're listening to the podcast, make sure that you subscribe to it wherever you're listening and also rate it so we can climb up the charts and more people can find it. You guys want to sign out?
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you later.
Thanks for listening and watching. Stay safe. Over and out.
And make sure you comment down below with what topics you want us to cover in the next one.
Over and out. See you later.
Thank you, guys.
I'm trying not to laugh, man. Because I'm like handing them fuck do this. And all I see is like Jay's face looking at me.
That's when he looked like Herbert, right?
Jay, one more time. Can you take that out one more time for me, please? There it is.
Hey, Chris.
Do the voice.
Hi, Chris. Hey, you kids. No, Grandpa, not in the basement.
I'm sorry.
I'll show you the pictures of why I've done that.
I don't think
You're
I'm
not on TikTok, so you'll get it, but you won't enjoy it. Oh,
I have a
God.
TikTok account. I think I've posted one video.
Yes, let's get Chris on TikTok. That's a go from here.
Get Chris
So he's got the audacity to have a go at you about your food.
Sorry.
So he's on TikTok.
Do you know what I mean?
You can waste hours on TikTok.
You waste
TikTok
so much
is like
time
the
on
new
TikTok.
Instagram.
No, it's not. Don't do
No,
that.
not in that sense, but from an entertainment perspective,
It's basically just an updated version
the
of
stick
Vine.
that you see on TikTok.
It's an updated version of Vine.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
It is funny.
You know what Vine is?
Do you remember Vine?
Right, he looked at me blank then.
You did look a little bit.
He looked at me like I had 3 heads.
No, I was looking at you because of saying that. That's insulting Vine.
No, it is. It is literally a new
RIP
version
Vine,
of Vine.
but TikTok's entertaining.
Have you watched Toy Story 4?
Yes.
TikTok is trash.
Wow.
Trash.
Wow.
It's a platform that.
Listen, we're not going to go into
It's a
this.
platform. It's a platform that allows the talentless.
Listen, we've done this at the end of every podcast.
Do you know how many people I've seen say like?
Jason Derulo.
Mate, he's got like 20 million. 20 million followers.
20 million followers. He makes $2,000 per post. Every video he makes.
Unreal.
Churchy.
So you're trying to talk about talent and you reference Jason Derulo as talent.
Jason Derulo. Yeah. That
Oh my god. No, oh my god. You've got to put that in.
That's good.
Oh my god. But I could show you his TikTok.
No,
Do you know what? Let's just do
I like
this.
Justin Bieber. I listen to a lot of country music. I'm not like your average.
Dig a ditch. Dig a ditch.
Mate, I could show you Jason Derulo's
What music do you listen
TikTok.
to?
I listen to whatever comes on, to be honest with you.
Really? No real preference
I'm
on
not really
music?
picking. Normally like my workout playlists are like.
Sorry, I was going to say TikTok has been incredible for finding songs.
God, this is
Yeah,
No, see?
yeah.
Is
Most
he-
of the
is he-
like the last probably 20 songs I've downloaded of Apple Music
Yeah.
had been on TikTok.
Let me
Yeah.
explain. Like why I don't like TikTok is because like I've watched stuff with Gary Vee and he's explained that how like this is the hottest social media platform right now. I get that. All due respect for it, but when you actually try to create cinematic stories,
you couldn't
and then
be
you get
serious
these
on
people
TikTok.
like miming on it, and
Yeah.
I think what it does, it undervalues like cinematographers, creators, videographers, and that's the aspect of it that I don't like, and that's why I refer to it as like a talentless platform. I understand like stitching videos together and putting your hand over and doing outfit swaps. Yeah, that's really cool and it's
I
fun
made a
to
really
watch.
good video the other day and you've just completely shot me down. Wow.
No, I just
How
wanted
do we
to
go
explain
from
that.
hockey
It's-
to like every podcast? Yeah, we go to food to like human rituals to now to TikTok.
We
What is
stayed
going
away from
on
food today.
What is going on? We sidetrack at the end of every
food.
podcast. We sign off
good,
and then we get into like some disagreement about something. Every podcast, the last like 4 at least.
But I think it's good. I mean, if you guys don't want us to do this, we could just
We
cut this
literally
out.
just side off
We
and just
touched
did
on
like
the
argue.
topic that Chris wants a Timberland sponsorship.
Mate, we touch on that every single podcast. Just
And
get
the shoes
close
as
up.
well. And the shoes as
I
well.
was looking at them.
And the shoes as well. Look at the shoes. Get a shot of the shoes. Look right there.
Are they like your everyday Tims?
These are my everyday Tims.
dress Tims.
I've got like proper dress shoe Tims as well. It just depends on what I'm doing or where I'm going. These are like my
I love how
everyday
actually I
beats
just
around
reference them
trainers.
as Tims. Oh,
Tims. Yeah, not Timmy's. Don't get that confused, Canadians. This is
I
Tims.
love a Timmy.
No, Timmy's is. Oh my god, Timmy's is trash.
I love a Timmy's.
Timmy's is trash.
You are.
I bet Jay's been in his bedroom going, Carol, bastard!
I can't. No.
Boy, with your hair, that would be brilliant.
Husband whacked him.
Have you watched any of that yet?
No, I
No,
haven't.
don't. It's not a good series.
I only know about that character, about the whole thing because of Logan
TikTok.
Paul.
Made on TikTok.
Because of Logan Paul. Logan
Made
Paul
on
did one, and
TikTok.
that's the reason I know it.
Yeah. So.
I've watched the whole series and it's good.
Oh, we were talking about music. What's your music preference? I actually wanted to
I don't
know.
know. I don't really say I have anything. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I
Every
listen
Instagram
to-
post that you post where you're in your car driving, and yes, Jay, we all know you drive an
always
Audi. Everyone now knows you drive an Audi. Let me make sure I get the badge.
No, 9 times out of 10, if I have the radio
That's
on,
an Audi.
I listen to everything. New school, bit of old school.
Yeah.
You know, old school
It's
garages.
whatever comes on, to be honest with you.
I think you two, like Ricky behind the camera, I think your music tastes are very, very similar.
Do you like Westlife?
I listen to Westlife, bit of Backstreet
Bit of
Boys
Blue.
every now and then. Kylie Minogue's well up there at the moment. No, it's just certain songs, just old songs that I can sit in the car and sing to. No
Drake,
problem with that.
J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and then every other thing I listen to is like straight
Whatever
good
comes
UK
on with me.
music.
I'm not that
It's not like
picky.
the old music used to be, though. It's all the same.
No, it's-
Unknown
it's all-
T, Skepta,
Yeah.
JME, J Hus.
God, you went
Mo Stack.
real quick. AJ Tracy, I bet it's one.
No, I don't like AJ Tracy.
Dinner Guest.
I don't like AJ Tracy.
Song at the moment.
Not a fan of AJ. Stormzy was good, but he's just been real soft lately.
He's gone quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, I like his. I mean, his last album was sick.
He's going for a breakup.
Right now, it's
well
all about
impressed.
J Huss and Unknown T is all I'm listening to.
Song. What about when Drake brought him out on his concert? That was good, right?
That was ridiculous. Straight from prison onto stage at the O2 with Drake.
Yeah, personal escort.
Yeah.
End of every podcast this happens. Yeah. It just carries on for like 20 minutes.
I'm just looking into their eyes like real intently.